Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI. We are coming to you today with goalie information.
Yay.
And opinions, and facts. So facts and opinions will be the story today, and we're going to talk about Grand Rapids goaltending, what it looks like currently on the roster, and what we can kind of expect going forward after the camp in Traverse City that will be happening this year in September. So that's really it. Short intro.
Before you continue watching, like, subscribe, and comment after the video's done. Do that part afterwards.
I mean, you could do it now.
Yeah, you could be like, comment.
You're like, those girls are so cool. Subscribe.
Doesn't everybody subscribe because we're cool?
I mean, I've not heard otherwise.
That's one of the facts we're going to go over today.
Anyways.
So, starting with Grand Rapids, we have a couple goaltenders coming through the system. One, Victor Brattstrom. This will be his second season in Grand Rapids. He was kind of our... He was our main man last season. We had a ton of injuries and call-ups and stuff, so he ended up really stepping up.
He was our main man to the second part of the year. The first part of the year, Calvin Pickard was just... He was the main man.
He was the
guy. And then he had to go to Detroit because Detroit had like 40,000 injuries. So then he went to Detroit for a while, and then Pickard got injured. So then Brattstrom came on the scene.
Everything from a hangnail to a broken rib. It was crazy. You gotta watch those hangnails.
Yeah.
But so last season he did 32 games, which were fantastic, and he improved to a 3.32 goals against, and he finished out the season with a .894 save percent average.
If you know averages and numbers, those aren't great.
It's better than the 5.6 whatever it was.
But he did improve, and he showed a lot of competence toward the end of the season, basically. So his first few games were very shaky. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They were scary, and I was like, oh dear.
I was sad.
What is going to happen? I know, because we had a lot of expectation for him. But he did end up getting it together, and he started a lot of really good games, and he just performed very well in a lot of games too. So those numbers are a little, I wouldn't say unfair to where he ended, but just they don't represent where he ended as well as I would hope.
Right, exactly. And we just recently signed, so this is, again, just Grand Rapids. So just this season, or in this off-season, we signed Jussi Olkinuora. Oh, that's a mouthful.
I saved that one for her because I didn't want to say it.
I figured that's why you did that. Over the last 3 seasons, he's been playing over in the KHL, putting up some really, really good numbers. He's a bit of a veteran, so he would be the veteran guy in Grand Rapids this season. There's always a bit of a tandem there. He's 31, 6'2", 200 pounds, so he's kind of coming in kind of beefy. But in his last season with the KHL, he had 36 games played, a 2.45 goals against, and a .917 save percent average. So really good numbers, and I believe he actually won last season a gold medal with Team Finland in the Olympics as well. So.
Yeah, so like Rachel said, he is 31 years old, so he is coming in, and I think Brattstrom is what, 24?
25.
25. So he is, of course, older than Brattstrom. He is coming in with a lot more experience than Brattstrom has just based on the years that he's been in the various leagues. He has ECHL experience. He has AHL experience.
College.
He had some college experience. Most recently, though, like Rachel said, he was in Europe playing overseas. So that's what his current status was before we had gotten him. So we're thinking that will be a tandem, and just because we don't have Calvin Pickard coming into this season, I think that he was kind of like the replacement almost, because they always like to have a good vet guy to go alongside the guy that they're trying to build up, and that would be Brattstrom in this case. And these are just the guys, like I said previously, that are on the roster right now. So this doesn't have anything to do with any of the prospects that people assume or think might be coming to Grand Rapids. These are just the guys who we know are going to be with us next season, or this coming season rather. So then we'll go into Detroit goaltending just super quick. So Alex Nedeljkovic was playing quite a lot with us last season. So that was 59 games played. He did 3.31 goals against and a .901 save percent average, and a not super great team in front of him.
Right. It kind of goes along with like Brattstrom's numbers, where the guys in front, if they let 50 shots into the zone,
and there were some games like that,
guys,
on both ends.
Seriously, I think there was one game we had 9 shots the entire game. Ouch! And Ned held it together.
Stand on his head, and I mean him and Grice. Grice had some really good games as well in the last season. So not surprising that his numbers aren't that great of a showing, because Nedeljkovic, we saw him play with Carolina in the AHL years ago when Carolina won their Calder Cup, or the Calder Cup for the AHL, and he was incredible. So when we got him, if you remember our previous videos, we were very excited because we know how good of a goalie Nedeljkovic is, and I think he showed that a lot this season, but also it's kind of a product of not having the best team in front of you, and that's, I think,
I mean,
it happens.
To be a stellar
league.
goaltender and have people see that with a really terrible team in front of you, that's exciting. I mean, that's something.
Because you know what, you get 50 shots. Sure. I think you'll let one in. I am not a goalie, but
they're not supposed to play all the positions, you know?
Yeah.
The second person who I'm actually pretty excited that we have with the team is Ville Husso. We signed him. He's coming out of St. Louis, so he's had the last couple of seasons in the NHL. We saw him years ago in the AHL, and he kind of moved his way up. He's done phenomenally, I think. And with St. Louis, he's played 40 games. He had a 2.56 goals against last season with a .919 save percentage. And him and Ned are similar in age, too. They're both younger guys. Ned, I believe, is 26. Husso is 27, I want to say. So they're young. They're teachable, I would think. And both of them, I think they'll do that tandem thing, but Ned is definitely the veteran in the sense of Detroit right now, since this is his second season, right? Second season?
Yes, second season, I believe.
Whereas Husso, he's got, 3-4 seasons of NHL experience, so both of them are on an equal playing field, I would say, but he's an exciting one, too. I remember really liking how he played.
I liked how he played, and we saw him back when he played with the San Antonio Rampage, which used to be a team in the AHL. They are now currently... They were merged, I believe.
I think the whole team got moved.
I think they just became the Texas Stars. Like, they just kind of, like, merged, and don't quote me on that.
San Antonio went away. They took away the whole team.
And so I think that's where we first saw him, and he was very good at that point. So, not sure, of course. We'll see how he plays out. I don't know who of these two would be maybe the starter, but I guess who would see... We could even get another guy. It's kind of all up in the air.
Yeah.
So, what all this information means for development going forward is kind of also up in the air. We have a lot of guys, not a lot. We have a few goalies in the pipeline that we've drafted within 3 or 4 years, and that would be Sebastian Cossa, Jan Bednash, and Carter Gylander. Those would be the 3 that everybody is probably waiting on. Those are the 3 that everybody wants to see get to the Red Wings, I would think. There's a lot of talk about Cossa going up to GR, and by a lot of talk, I mean, like, fans and, like, not the Red Wings saying for sure he's going to be
I won't
anywhere.
buy it until someone from the team says he's coming.
Yeah, so he does have an entry-level contract, but that means we have the rights to him. He could go back to where he was playing. It really just depends on where the brass wants him to be as far as development goes. He could go Grand Rapids. We just don't know yet, and I think a lot of these guys that are in the development right now for goaltending, a lot of it won't be known until after the prospects camp and after the development camp for the Red Wings. They keep that stuff pretty close to the vest when they're deciding these things. So I don't even think they know until after those events happen.
Right, and those dates were announced, by the way, officially a few days ago.
Yeah, so in September will be the development camp for the Red Wings and also the NHL Prospects Tournament in Traverse City. So that's where these guys get to show their stuff and make their way and make their point to being a Grand Rapids Griffin or a Red Wing. And this goes for all the guys that are in the development system now.
And one thing to pull through all of this, and I was just kind of thinking off camera here, is with
off camera, on camera.
We're now on camera, making this official. Victor Brattstrom was one of our draft picks a couple seasons ago. I believe he was drafted the same season as Jan Bednash, or the season before. So around the same time, obviously we haven't pulled Jan over and Brattstrom, this is his second season, but with all of these other young kids kind of coming through.
I would say with a little more hype, too.
A little more hype. Cossa is everyone's big deal guy right now, and so that's kind of pushing from the backside of things. So it kind of at least leaves me with the impression that this might be Brattstrom kind of getting moved over for consideration for development. Hopefully not. He'll do well wherever he goes. But it makes you kind of wonder with all these other ones coming up, is it something where he's going to be kind of looked over for Cossa, someone younger and fresh? And
however, my opinion would be that because the 2 goaltenders we have in Detroit right now in the next coming season are not ones that were being developed. In my head, you want to develop someone to then be, of course,
to move them up
in your NHL team. So these 2 guys, I feel like, are placeholders, Nedeljkovic and Husso. Nedeljkovic, I like him more. I haven't seen Husso a lot. I would like Nedeljkovic.
Ned.
I would like Ned to stay because I like him and I like his play and I think he's a fantastic goalie. But I think they're kind of placeholders for when we can finally get
someone.
The ones that we've been working on, because why else have people that you're working on if you're not going to use them?
Right.
So in my head, if Brattstrom has a stellar season and plays, like we always say, plays like he doesn't belong in the AHL, I hope he can make the jump up to Detroit because Cossa won't be Detroit right away. He'll need some time to develop. All these goaltenders will need time to develop, but I do think that Detroit the last few seasons, I feel like they've had placeholders for goaltenders.
Yeah.
Not actually guys that we've like, hey, this guy moved up in our farm system
where
and now
had
he's ready.
Like a checklist of things that we want this guy to complete and then move them.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of placeholder goalies, not any of like he's been a Red Wing, he's been bred as a Red Wing, you know, that kind of thing. So I am hopeful that Brattstrom will have a really stellar season and maybe can make his push. I would like to see that. I guess I'm speaking out of like what I would like.
Yeah, and I do wonder because they did not draft any goaltending this last draft. Maybe it was because the pool just wasn't as deep as they wanted it to be, or they didn't get whoever they wanted. But also, it kind of makes me think maybe they do have the batch that they want to see progress forward.
Or
and
like,
so
let's see what we
grab
can do.
Another one. Yeah, see what you can do with what you got. Of course, this is all. We're just
we're just
out loud here.
Yeah,
definitely roundtable discussion we're having here. But it does make you kind of scratch your head a little bit, and a good reason to pay more attention with training camp coming up and with the AHL season. Watching that timeline, because if Cossa gets pulled in and put in, watch closely on what they do with the others.
Things can happen mid-season. Things happen fast all the time. Something could happen in the injury pool where we need someone, and that's when stuff happens and it kind of pushes things that you wouldn't expect into play. So all that stuff is still on the table, so I guess we'll see kind of what that looks like. As far as the timeline, like I said, Brattstrom showed progression last season, and I would say quickly based on how much time he had.
Under the circumstances,
32 games played from the first game to the last game, already showing that much improvement, I think is very important. And if he can come with the same compete, and if he can outwork the vet goalie that will be coming in Husi, I'm thinking that he will have a good shot, and I want that for him.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see someone who was drafted
One of ours.
And bred in the Red Wing, to go up to the big league and then just stun everybody and hopefully have a team help him.
I think
stun everybody.
I think the Wings should have a pretty good roster this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping that.
Maybe we can all stun everybody on both levels this year.
All the stunning.
Yes.
So stunning.
Stunning.
All right. So that is kind of the goalie situation in Grand Rapids and in Detroit thus far. Let us know in the comments who you're excited to see come through the development system, and if there's anyone that we missed that you are excited to see and you'd like us to talk about, let us know. Let us know what you think about Cossa. Do you think that he'll be pulled up right away, or do you think he still is going to need more time? And also, don't forget about the development camp and prospects tournament in Traverse City. I do believe that they show those games or broadcast those games because all the brass goes and it's this big deal and
everyone's
all
trying
the
to
prospects.
see Iserman out in the hallway with a piece of pizza or something.
Everyone sees all the first rounders and they all faint. Yeah. It's great.
If you can go. It's worth
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
Love it.
We'll be there.
So let us know in the comments all of those things if you remember any of them. And thanks so much again for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment if you would. And we will see you guys next time.